Welcome to Matthews Arena. For your safety, please take a moment to locate the 2 exits closest to you. If an evacuation is required, please proceed calmly to the closest available exit and follow the direction of university officials and emergency personnel. Thank you, and please enjoy the ceremony. Chief Marshal Professor Wesley W. Marple will now lead the procession of the graduates.
Will all graduates and guests please rise? Please remain standing until you're asked to be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of Northeastern University, Joseph E. Aoun, and Dean Jeremy Paul will now lead the academic procession. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dean of Northeastern University School of Law, Jeremy Paul.
Good afternoon, everyone. I bet you thought this day would never come. Attorney General Healey, President Aoun, members of the Board of Trustees and the corporation, faculty, adjunct faculty, graduates, staff, families, and friends, welcome to the 2015 commencement exercises at Northeastern University School of Law. Above all, welcome to the class of 2015. You hold a special place in the hearts of all those who have come to celebrate with you today, and that goes double for me. You and I started at Northeastern together 3 years ago. At least for another hour, we are all 3Ls. But unlike you, I am hoping it will be a very long time until I graduate. I still remember your orientation. I opened with a joke about deans purportedly making the big decisions about the law school's direction. I said it reminded me of the guy bragging at a bar who claimed never to fight with his wife because he let her make all the small decisions while he made the big ones. So what does she decide, his friends inquire? Where we live, where the kids go to school, where we take vacations. Well, then what big decisions do you make? I decide the family's policy towards China, the stance we take on global warming, and what we think about the Federal Reserve. You know, the big decisions. Most of you laughed, bless you, and you've been kind to me ever since, although not so kind as to shield me when you were unhappy with a law school decision. I am grateful to you for welcoming me and for your guidance, but far more than that, I am extraordinarily proud of what you have accomplished. I would not want to be anywhere on this Friday before Memorial Day than here celebrating with you. You have successfully completed the most challenging and relevant legal education a law school can provide. Having each navigated your way through 4 co-op experiences, a challenging curriculum, and yes, even the snowpocalypse, you are prepared to be nimble as you embark upon the life you can expect, one of constant change from one job to another. Notice how I slipped in there that you will indeed have not just one job, but many. All evidence shows that your law degree will open employment opportunities we cannot yet imagine. And it's no surprise you will be in demand. Consider what your class of 164 soon-to-be lawyers has accomplished. You have mastered the essential tools of translating individual stories of injustice into public languages that might win relief for clients from all walks of life. Let me take a moment to single out just one of your classmates, Sarah Comeners, who this week was honored by the ACLU for her work helping an 11-year-old avoid paying for a police detail just to hold a rally. Congratulations, Sarah. In classrooms, you have learned that when two parties have a serious disagreement, odds are good that both sides have a point. You know the difference between an argument and an assertion. You have learned that if a picture is worth 1,000 words, so too is a good example. You have honed the essential skill of teaching yourselves new material quickly and thoroughly. In short, you have learned to think like a lawyer. Your skills helped class members take first place in the New England ABA Client Counseling Competition, win the American Bankruptcy Institute's Medal of Excellence, secure the Small Chapter of the Year for our Kemet chapter of the Black Law Students Association, win a National Human Rights Writing Contest with an essay on conditions in Cambodia, win first place in the State of Michigan's Environmental Law Writing Contest, win the first ever Roderick L. Ireland Leadership and Juvenile Advocacy Award from the Massachusetts Black Lawyers Association, and win the C.B. King Award from the National Lawyers Guild for a student with an exemplary commitment to social justice. You have earned twice the number of judicial clerkships as your immediate predecessors and secured prestigious fellowships to work on immigration issues, labor issues, and economic justice, to name just a few. But because you were wise enough to choose Northeastern and our signature model of cooperative legal education, you have done more than master legal analysis, much more. As a group, you have completed more than 250,000 hours of legal work at 680 placements, almost 1/5 of which you developed on your own. Your co-ops took you to 28 US states and territories and 8 countries. 86% of you did at least one public interest co-op, and you ventured into almost every sort of professional setting. You have protected civil rights and civil liberties not only at the ACLU, but at the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights, the Center for Constitutional Rights, the Public Defender Service of DC, South Louisiana Legal Services, and other advocacy organizations. You have traveled to Ireland, Mexico, India, the Netherlands, and South Africa, devoting your talents to promoting human rights, working at international criminal tribunals, UN commissions, and non-governmental organizations. You have worked at startups and large companies such as Staples, at Jazz at Lincoln Center and WGBH, at large law firms and with solo practitioners, with courts and prosecutors of every stripe. Through your hard work and dedication and your commitment to excellence and social justice, you have made positive impacts on the clients you have served and improved the reputation of the legal profession. In short, you came to Northeastern because you wanted to make a difference, and you were already doing so. You leave Northeastern with more legal experience than graduates of any other law school. Congratulations. We are proud of you. Will the audience please join me in a round of applause for the JD class of 2015. We are equally really proud of another group of students earning a degree this year. The third class of our Master of Laws program will graduate 31 lawyers, 18 women and 13 men from 19 countries, from Argentina to Uganda, from Armenia to the UK. Newly represented countries this year are South Africa, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Colombia, Sudan, and Pakistan. But our LLM's diversity is more than geographical. Most of you prefer to design your own curriculum. 6 chose to specialize in human rights, 4 pursued health law policy and law, and 3 opted for law and economic development. 2/3 of you have substantial work experience in every major field of law as well as in banking, commerce, education, human services, and political and social activism. LLM students completed co-ops with legal employers in both private and public sectors, in courts and government agencies, locally in Boston, Worcester, Weymouth, and Brockton, and further afield in New York, Washington, Riyadh, and Khartoum. We are proud to welcome you to the ranks of Northeastern alums. Please join me in congratulating the LLM class of 2015. It is customary at this point for the Dean to offer a few, all right, maybe not too few, parting words of purported wisdom before getting the show on the road. I have a simple message. You are ready to do great things, and your country needs you. In prior years, I have reminded graduating classes about the many core American institutions that desperately need new models. Lawyers trained to design new ways of working together must tackle our too costly healthcare system, our vulnerable financial system, the harm to public discourse stemming from the collapse of print journalism, and above all, the burning of fossil fuels that is causing climate change. Each of these problems demands translation of new ways of doing things into clear legal rules that can guide better behavior. You have opportunities here to make a difference. But after the challenging 2014-15 year, I sometimes fear that not only our current institutions, but our very core values are at stake, awaiting creative solutions from the next generation of lawyers. Consider just a few. The United States prides itself on our commitment to democracy. But we live in a technological age where problems seem so complex that by the time anyone can figure out what's at stake, conditions have changed and any vote seems irrelevant. What are we going to do to craft democratic institutions that move at the pace of the modern economy? America's success has been built on a vibrant middle class. Some measure of economic equality is essential to a thriving civil society. Yet technology and globalization are driving greater returns to fewer winners, creating the most economic inequality we have seen since the Great Depression. What are we going to do to write rules to level the playing field? From multinational corporations to the U.S. Supreme Court to the voices of higher education leaders, Americans of many stripes proclaim diversity as one of our highest values. Yet as recent days have shown, the distrust between community members of color and urban police forces reveals deep-seated tensions that have hardly evaporated simply because we elected an African-American president. What steps can the country take to move toward greater understanding across racial groups, and how can the law lead the way? The rule of law, which brought many of us here to teach and study in the first place, is a hollow promise unless citizens are afforded access to justice. Yet in today's courts, some areas of law see as many as 80% of cases where at least one party is unrepresented by counsel. How can lawyers make provision of legal services more affordable so that courtroom doors are truly open to all? It no longer shocks us to read of a government official caught dipping into the till or steering business to his or her friends. Yet faith in government is essential to everything we hold dear. Fighting corruption may indeed turn out to be the social justice issue of the 21st century, and lawyers need to be at the forefront. Finally, and this one is for you, Mr. President, the three pillars of Northeastern's research success, health, sustainability, and security, are built on a single powerful idea. When it comes to the most important challenges facing the world today, no one can go it alone. If I have a dangerous disease, your health is endangered. If I use too much water, there won't be enough left for you. If I fail to report suspicious activity, you might end up the victim. To make progress on health, sustainability, and security, we need to stress the important ways in which we are all in this together. And we need lawyers who can design institutions that reinforce our collective bonds. Okay, I can imagine you're all going home to chat with your families and friends and complaining about your out-of-touch dean. Doesn't he understand that I have loans to pay and what I really need is a job? Why is he talking today about democracy, equality, diversity, access to justice, anti-corruption, and interdependence? Put simply, it's because I do understand precisely that what you need are fulfilling careers, and that is why I'm talking to you about core values. Many of you are already well-placed. Congratulations. But for any of you who ever find yourself looking for a position, you should start with a simple question. How can I add value? For those among you who see this as business lingo, simply replace it with, how can I serve human needs? Recognizing the many values under pressure in the United States today is perhaps the best starting point for using your law degree in ways that will be good for you and good for society. Figure out some work in the world you think needs to be done, find people doing it, start to help. Dive in, learn all you can, and sooner or later, people will be paying you quite handsomely. To get you started along the way, I have boiled down last year's 5 tips into just 2. First, law school is not the end of your education. And I'm not referring here to the trial by combat experience you have ahead, known as the bar exam. By the way, I know how talented you all are, but please study. Everybody who studies does great. All right? You have spent 3 years becoming well-versed in the language of the law, but your task as a lawyer is to translate your client's objectives into practical reality. You cannot do this unless you learn to speak the language of your clients. This is particularly important today as so many key policy decisions involve quantitative and scientific analysis. So keep reading the news, the blogs, Twitter, whatever it takes to teach yourself contemporary dialects. The language of the law has dominated public discourse in the United States since our founding, but the languages of business and science have now become our rivals. If you are to fight for the public values of justice and the rule of law that took you to law school in the first place, you need to speak much more than legalese. Second, don't let Northeastern off the hook. You can count on us. You have given us your best, and we owe you the same. Never hesitate to contact your teachers, your alumni office, the COPA office, or your dean if you are facing something with which we might help. You can be sure I won't hesitate to call on you if the situation is reversed. Finally, before we move on, there is one more group deserving of congratulations. No one completes law school without a great deal of help. Assistance comes from parents and partners, from grandparents and siblings, from children and aunts and uncles and cousins and in-laws, from friends and neighbors. These people have been cheering you on for years. Now that you have time to catch your breath, please take a moment to cheer them on by publicly thanking all those who pitched in to make this day possible. Class of 2015, bravo. We will follow your path with interest, particularly as we send you surveys tracking your whereabouts. May the force be with you. It is now my personal pleasure to introduce the president of Northeastern University, Joseph E. Aoun.
Thank you for the last. That's good. Good afternoon. Let me repeat one more time. Good afternoon. Ah, that's better. I see that some of you went to sleep very late, correct? So good morning in that case. Well, the advantage of coming after the dean is that I listened to his speech, a great speech, and also there was a lesson for you and a lesson for me. So I'm going to shorten my speech. I prepared one for maybe an hour or 2. It's going to be much shorter. First, I want to welcome you officially to the commencement exercises on behalf of the whole university, the trustees, the faculty, the staff. But also, I want you to do one more time something very special. I want you to rise and look at your parents and families and spouses and partners and give them a big thank you, a big round of applause. So please stand. So now that you stretched, please be seated. I also would like to welcome our commencement speaker, a member of the Northeastern family. It's good to have you home. Allow me to start with a personal story. When I was growing up, many around me believed that to be successful, you should follow a traditional path to security and comfort. no one ever suggested that you could be a success by getting a career in linguistics. But I did not want other people's ideas to define my career, and I followed my passion and studied linguistics. It was a decision that took me from my native country to Europe and then to the distant shores of America. I never looked back. I went against the grain, and I never regretted it. Graduates, you have reached today an impressive milestone. You have proved your exceptional talent and rigor. But as you use these talents to go after more milestones and further milestones, I urge you to go against the grains. Go against the grain to follow your passion, and yes, take a risk. And go against the grain to learn from the whole world. When she was a child, Mayumi Grigsby, who is here today, left her native Liberia as it fell into civil war. Her family moved to France, then to Texas. As an adult, she returned to Africa to work for the good of her homeland. She quickly discovered that to help her country, she needed to leave it once more. She realized that a law degree would empower her to help others. She's graduating here with you, one of you. Her journey will take her on a new path. And Mayumi went against the grain to learn from the whole world. And go against the grain to help the world. Kyle Rapinian, who is also graduating today, was homeless once. He never forgot how people helped him overcome his struggles. So he determined to help others do the same. He founded a nonprofit to help LGBT youth. And he earned his law degree so he could fight for the rights of those who are discriminated against. Kyle went against the grain to rise from misfortune and help the world. And finally, go against the grain to bring hope to the world. For years, many victims of racial violence in the South had been erased from the record of history. People thought these cases had no hope of resolution. They believed justice could never be served. Professor Margaret Burnham thought otherwise. She founded the Civil Rights and Restorative Justice Project. Her team, which includes some of you today here, has moved mountains. Just last December, they vacated the conviction of a 14-year-old boy who was executed in 1944 for a crime he did not commit. They found justice where others only found silence. Professor Burnham went against the grain to bring hope to the world. Margaret, please stand. All these people made a difference by going against the grain, but don't do it just for its own sake. Doing things differently won't guarantee a happy result. Do things differently for the sake of happiness, fulfillment, and impact. Use your learning not merely to accept the received wisdom, use it to create new wisdom. Graduates, your legal training is a very powerful tool. Be creative in how you use it. Many people hunger for justice, and they will crave your guidance. Your education is a gift of many parts. It has given you knowledge and discernment. Truth, fairness, and the meaning of injustice. These are the ends for which you have trained so hard. In pursuing them, go against the grain. Then you will transform yourselves and transform the world. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Ayoun. Kenneth Aaron Kaufman of the class of 2015 will now deliver a commencement address on behalf of the summer-winter rotation.
Your Honors, may it please the Court. I'd like to begin by expressing my deep gratitude to my classmates for the opportunity to give this address. I'm so honored to speak here today, particularly because I was selected to do so by people who mean so much to me and for whom I have such great respect. Thank you to President Ayoun, Dean Paul, Dean Harper, and the other members of the administration. I'm extremely proud to be sharing the stage today with our esteemed faculty, and especially our elected faculty speaker, Professor Daniel Medwed. Professor Medwed, your enthusiastic and dynamic teaching style in the classroom is matched only by your kindness and dedication to your students. I, along with my classmates, am indebted to you for your guidance and wisdom. I'm so pleased to share this day not only with my classmates, but also with the family and friends who have come to celebrate with us. Please know that our accomplishments would not have been possible without the love and support that you have provided. A special thank you to my parents, Jay and Kathy, who have supported me throughout my law school experience, both literally and figuratively, as they've let me live in my childhood room rent-free for the past 3 years. Thanks, Mom and Dad, but allow me to use this grand stage to inform you that I have no plans to leave anytime soon. And thank you to my role model and older brother, Noah, and to his wife, Hatsie, who welcomed their first child earlier this week. And finally, to my girlfriend, Sarah, thank you for your patience and support, and for putting up with my constant use of legal acronyms. LOL. Over the past 3 years, we have studied and become versed in a wide body of literature. There was the Restatement of Torts, the Blue Book, and of course, Getting to Maybe by our own Dean Jeremy Paul. All of them true American classics. But I would venture a guess that long before most all of us got to law school, we became versed in a totally different body of literature. I am, of course, talking about the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. I'm so curious how Harry Potter is translated. The first of the 7-part series was released in 1999. In that book, we meet Harry as he turns 11 years old, which is approximately the same age that many of us were at the time. So, in a way, this graduating class grew up with Harry. As the books open, we learn that Harry's parents have just been killed by Lord Voldemort, an evil wizard determined to create a world full of injustice by establishing a regime entitling only those born with privilege and power, and enslaving those without. At first, not even Harry is aware that he is a member of the wizarding world, possessed of magical powers and abilities. But Harry's life quickly changes when he receives his acceptance letter to the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Once at Hogwarts, Harry's experience in many respects closely mirrored our own Muggle experiences here at Northeastern. As I've been told that my speech cannot consist entirely of Harry Potter analogies, let me give just a few examples. In Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Harry battles and defeats a flame-spitting dragon in the Triwizard Tournament. Similarly, during our first year, we had to endure our own grueling trial by fire, called Pathways to Practice. In Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry must take a harrowing ride on a hippogriff, a notoriously temperamental half-horse, half-eagle, to fly to the rescue of his godfather. In much the same way, we had to ride the Green Line to school this past winter. And finally, in Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, the Wizarding World's newspaper turns against Harry in a bout of negative propaganda, which sounds an awful lot like our experience with the US News and World Report rankings. In much the same way that Harry came of age at Hogwarts, we too have come of age as students at Northeastern, also a, dare I say, non-traditional school in its own right. Our worldviews, like Harry's, have been shaped by our professors, from whom we have learned the importance of remaining true to our values and of advocating on behalf of those less fortunate. These teachings are particularly salient today, as we begin our careers as lawyers in a time of great turmoil, a time not unlike during Voldemort's reign, when people are too often classified not by their virtue, but instead by the circumstances of their birth. The evil we face, though not in the form of dementors or Death Eaters, is still readily apparent. When President Obama was elected in 2008, certain members of the popular press announced the end of racism and hate. But 7 years later, we are mindful that our generation is inheriting a world still riddled with unrest, a world full of ethnic and religious discrimination and persecution of minorities. To recognize the uphill battle we face, you need look no further than Ferguson, Missouri, no further than Baltimore, Maryland, and no further even than our very own campus, where instances of racism, anti-Semitism, and hate still exist. Our professors have instilled in us the importance of identifying and confronting these injustices, and they have taught us that in order to do so, it is necessary that we engage and respect those who see the world differently. Perhaps Professor Dumbledore said it best when he told Harry that differences of habit and language are nothing if our aims are identical and our hearts are open. Our professors, like Harry's, have given us that magical ability to effect positive change in our communities through our work as attorneys. Harry's experience at Hogwarts was shaped in equal measure by the friendships that he formed. From the outset, Harry makes fast friends with Ron and Hermione, who begin as his wizarding study partners, or law office, if you will, and later become his loyal comrades in the fight against he who shall not be named, Voldemort. As classmates at Northeastern, we have learned that the study and practice of law can be as much fun as it is rewarding when we are surrounded by people who we respect and admire. When I think back on the 3 years we spent together at Northeastern, I have a hard time remembering the nuances of the permissive joinder rule or the legal definition of an attractive nuisance. But I do remember the excitement and joy of getting to know my classmates at student organization meetings and intramural softball games. I can't say it any better than Hermione, who thoughtfully observed to Ron and Harry that there are far more important things in this world than books and cleverness, like friendship. As I look out over the graduating class of 2015, I see not only my friends and classmates, but also my new colleagues. And I find great strength in knowing that I have a community on which I can rely for wisdom and encouragement, because, as Professor Dumbledore told his students at Hogwarts, we are only as strong as we are united, as weak as we are divided. So, in closing, class of 2015, today we are all wizards, or at the very least, we're dressed like wizards. Thank you, congratulations.
You know, I think we all have trouble remembering the rules of permissive joinder and attractive nuisance. That's why it's important to study for the bar exam. Emma Thompson-Hunter will deliver the commencement address on behalf of the fall-spring rotation.
Thank you, Dean Paul. My name is Emma Hunter, and I am a third-year law student at Northeastern University School of Law in Boston, Massachusetts. I had to say that again because that's been my mantra for the last year, and I've only got a few more minutes for that to be true. It is an honor and a great privilege to address all of you today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support and your patience while we undertook this incredible and challenging journey called law school. When we came to Northeastern, or NUSL for the uninitiated, 3 years ago, we came from different backgrounds with different expectations and different goals. Some of us came from the law, having worked as a paralegal or an assistant to an attorney. Some of us came from roles as community organizers or activists with the goals of effecting serious social change. Some of us came from other professions: teachers, social workers, saleswomen, baseball players. I came from Peace Corps and the development world, where rule of law sometimes has an entirely different meaning. No matter where we came from, no matter our differences, Northeastern was our next big step. Our school took us in with this great breadth of varying experience and knowledge, and welcomed us to a curriculum and an institutional philosophy that allowed each of us to make NUSL our own. Those who wanted to drill deep into intellectual property, corporate finance, or family law had that opportunity. Those who wanted to survey the legal landscape, shall we say, and discover the passion that they had in front of them had that option as well. Our class in particular has had a tumultuous educational experience. Believe it or not, we sometimes did not know which floor of the library was the silent floor. This can be devastating as a law student. We went through tough changes in faculty and staff, some of them heartbreaking. We witnessed, participated in, and grieved serious social conflict covering the most basic elements of the human social fabric: race, ethnicity, color, sexuality, socioeconomic status, religion. We held vigils for the Black Lives Matter movement. We had countless panels and symposia about DOMA and the right to marriage. We debated the Palestinian conflict to no end. And we held our breaths for the decision about the Boston Marathon bomber case. These conflicts resulted in no small amount of strife for our community. But we emerge stronger. We emerge as better advocates for our position, because those whose opinions differ from our own are also adept advocates. We emerge as more tolerant, compassionate members of a group who aren't pigeonholed by ideology. The differences that separated us in the beginning now bind us together as part of our powerful and complex identity as this class of 2015. This class is capable of extraordinary achievements in both our careers and in our social development. We all must continue to support each other, no matter the difference of our paths. The titles of our future positions may affect salary, perceived social standing, or other societal elements. But for each of us graduating today, we must remember that we are all capable of effecting positive social change through our responsibilities to our clients. And in fact, this is our responsibility. This is our NUSL legacy. Those of us that enter legal services or government work or other traditional public interest careers will be engaged in social change every day. But those of us that work outside those spheres must also use our unique NUSL perspective to see a client's issue in a broader context, to understand the systemic forces behind that issue, and to use that knowledge to responsibly find solutions for our clients' needs. Our futures as mission-driven professionals will require a deep attachment to the principles and training we've received at NUSL. It's all on our shoulders now. I think it's only appropriate as a millennial member of this class to leave you with the words of an internet sensation. She's a bit of a meme, and I'm talking about the notorious RBG. Yes, for those who may not know, the notorious RBG is the internet name for Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. When asked how she would like to be remembered, Ruth Bader Ginsburg said, as someone who used whatever talent she had to do her work to the very best of her ability, and to help repair tears in her society, to make things a little better through the use of whatever ability she has. My colleagues, classmates, and friends, we must all strive for this legacy. I can't wait to see how each of us helps repair the tears of our society and helps to make things a little better in our distinctly Nusel way. Congratulations and thank you.
Ernest Nwachan will now deliver the commencement address on behalf of the LLM class.
President Aoun, Dean Paul, LLM Director Patrick Cassidy, distinguished faculty and staff, cherished friends and family members, dearest classmates. My name is Ernest Nwachan, and I have been a practicing attorney since 2003. I had the privilege to serve with the United Nations in Sierra Leone, Sudan, and Afghanistan. After obtaining a master's in peace and conflict studies, I chose Northeastern University for my LLM because it did offer many different areas of concentration, many options for experiential learning, and eventually fulfilling the bar requirements. Before I pay tribute to a set of very distinguished classmates, whom I'm so proud to call my peers, please allow me to acknowledge three people without whose sacrifice and support I would not be here today, namely, my parents, Joel and Julie, who are not yet present, and my dear wife, Shelley Flair, who is here present. Thank you. I also dedicate this moment to the families and loved ones of all the graduates without whose love, sacrifice, support, and encouragement, law school would have been near impossible. Dear friends, we are here today to celebrate academic excellence from the seat of wisdom and fountain of hope. Perhaps, like most of my LLM peers of our rainbow class, we all come from different countries and bring to the program a rich diversity that complements the school's social justice program, vision, and mission. My time at Northeastern can only be described as challenging and rewarding. In short, a life-changing experience. We have felt at home at Northeastern. We have continuously received the support of the administration and fellow students, even during some very tough and challenging moments. As we prepare to go out today and contribute to nation building, now is the time to ask ourselves, how can we contribute to the common good and give voice to the voiceless in our community? Northeastern has provided space for intellectual curiosity, scholarships, financial aid, and mentoring, without which I am certain we would not have had the opportunity to be trained by some of the most distinguished professors here present. By doing this, Northeastern has remained true to its mission of encouraging diversity and empowering tomorrow's leaders. Today marks the end of one journey and the beginning of another exciting one. Today we join the club of distinguished intellectuals, but must prove to the world by deed the value of the accolades we have received. We are called upon to distinguish ourselves and to serve. There will be many challenges. We have been comforted and are confident from the scholarship and experiential learning that we have received from Northeastern, and we are ready to impact positive changes in our various communities. Fellow graduates, like President Clinton said during his inaugural address, this is our time. Let's embrace it. We owe it to ourselves and future generations to make policy decisions for the greater good when we have the opportunity. Let us be guided by the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. when he said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." On behalf of the LLM class, I express our gratitude to the Dean of the Law School, Professor Jeremy Paul, the Faculty Director of the LLM program, Professor Denton Nielsen, the Director of the LLM program, Patrick Cassidy, Assistant LLM Director, Daniel Medwed, Assistant Director, Meredith Ahene, and Fergie Director, Kevin Murray, for their immense support and encouragement. We are privileged to be true ambassadors of Northeastern. Let our lives bring honor to Northeastern and reflect the values we have learned. In the words of Mahatma Gandhi, let us work together for unity and peace. Thank you and congratulations to you all. We made it.
So it is clear from Ken's moving and powerful comments that none of you need an introduction to Professor Daniel Medwed. Any of you in the audience who've turned on a radio or a television anytime in the last 30 days probably don't either, since his truly exquisite commentary on both the Tsarnaev and Hernandez trials on National Public Radio and many other places distinguished him as one of the absolutely best radio law professors I've ever heard. And so to borrow one of his formulations, did you as a class make a good choice in selecting Professor Daniel Medwed as your commencement speaker? The answer is yes, and here's the reasons why. All right? So Professor Medwed came to us from the University of Utah. As you know, he's a specialist in criminal law. He has degrees from both Harvard and Yale. He was the first person in the history of Northeastern University to be chosen to deliver the Klein Lecture in his first year as a member of our faculty. He's a brilliant scholar. His most recent book, The Prosecution Complex, explains with great subtlety and insight why it is that many prosecutors find themselves ultimately participating in the trial and conviction of people who later turn out to be innocent. And above all, he's truly a gifted teacher. So it's an honor to present him to you to deliver the faculty commencement address.
Wow. Well, best law professor, radio personality. What about Howard Stern, Jeremy? I'm the tallest dwarf, I guess. In any event, for once, I'm actually speechless. I mean, I don't have a speech. Speechless. Because I knew when I looked out into this audience and I saw you, this class that means so much to me, because I, like Dean Paul, started with you at NUSL in the summer of 2012. Any script would be thrown by the wayside. But I am going to talk to you about one of my favorite character traits, one of my favorite themes, moxie. Now, some of you have heard me talk about moxie. Now, despite what it sounds like, it is not an ointment for a really bad rash, okay? Moxie is that blend of assertiveness, savviness, stealth, creativity, and flexibility that is the key to success in life. And at this point in the talk, I could go serious and professional, but you guys know me by now. So I'm just going to talk about my kids. So consider this the last installment in the adventures of Clementine and Millie. Okay, so my two little rascals are the perfect embodiment of everything, are the perfect embodiment of two different forms of moxie. 2-year-old Clemmy personifies assertive moxie. In particular, Clemmy loves the coffee shop next door to our house in Cambridge. Classic hipster hangout. In fact, I think they refuse service if you wear pastels, okay? Or if you lack tattoos. But when Clemmy goes in there, Bill's skull and bones tattoo, it kind of winks, like the skull winks. It's amazing. And Joetta's devil tramp stamp smiles at Clemmy. I mean, she melts their hearts. And whenever she goes in there, because she knows what she wants, she goes right to the grill, because a guy named Edison makes the best egg sandwiches in the 02138 zip code, okay? Not a very high bar, but the best, okay? And she knows that we have a limit on how many high cholesterol egg sandwiches. We do live in Cambridge. We will be shot if our kid has too much high cholesterol or doesn't live exclusively on organic kale. So she makes a beeline to Edison. She looks him in the eye, and she says, "Swandwich o quay?" Now, I'm absolutely convinced that Clementine knows how to pronounce the word sandwich, and also the word okay. But she's savvy enough to know that if she's gonna cage a free sandwich off of Edison, okay, Swandwich o quay is gonna do the job, okay? Assertive moxie, she finds a way. Now, my other daughter, Millie, age 8, a little bit more refined, a little bit more dignified, and quite shy. She lurks in the background. She waits until the lane opens, and then she makes her move. And the move that she likes to make is, amazingly, for someone who's shy, she loves to be on center stage. She loves it when the lights come on and she's there. And I'll never forget last summer, she was at theater camp, and they were putting on some god-awful production of Shakespeare. And she's last in line, and all the stage kids are jostling for position. And she's slowly navigating her way to the front. I nudge my wife, "There's my girl." And sure enough, when the lights come on, who's front and center? But my Millibug, right? Stealth moxie. Now, the last story I'd like to describe relates to the fact that I think I embrace, or I believe in embracing, these two aspects of moxie, to be assertive and to be stealth. In fact, that's the only way I got this job, because this faculty tried many times to turn me down. In the fall of 2003, I first went on the market as a tenure-track professor. I submitted my materials to Northeastern because I knew right away that it was the place for me. The school that truly blends theory and practice, that's committed to social justice. I didn't then know about narrative evaluations. I probably never would have applied. But I knew that Northeastern would be a good fit. So they gave me an initial interview at the meat market, we call it, in Washington, D.C., 30 minutes of terror, where I sat in a room with none other than my beloved now colleagues, Margaret Burnham, Steve Subrin, and Dick Daynard. And we chatted. I think Margaret smiled once. I do think she, and I got a little love from Margaret, which, as you all know, can make anyone's day. And I went back after this, and I told my wife, I think it went pretty well. And if they call me back to campus, I have a 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 shot. I'll take those odds any day. And I went back, and I waited by my phone, and it never rang. Never rang. So I headed for the hills, literally to the ski slopes of Utah, where I taught at the University of Utah. And I immediately began plotting a way to come back to Northeastern. So I reached out to Dan Gefelber, whose scholarship I admired, and I instrumentally developed a professional relationship. I invited him to be a centerpiece at a conference, and at reasonably appropriate intervals, i.e. non-stalking intervals, I would reach out to him with my reprints. I would call him, send him an email of a professional nature, because I thought that if at some point down the road there was an opening in my field, criminal law, Dan Gefelber would be involved in the process. 8 years later, fall of 2011, Northeastern was looking for a criminal justice professor. Dan Gefelber was chairing the committee. I sent him my materials, and he gave me the one thing that I'd been paving the way for 8 years. One more chance with Margaret Burnham, who was actually not on the committee that year. So I had a 30-minute telephone interview scheduled. And this is where the assertive moxie combined with stealth. I set up that interview for a time when I was on the East Coast. And I drove 3 hours to do the screening interview in person at Newsel. Because I knew if they met me in person, they may not like me, yes. They may not want to hire me. But it would be really hard for them to turn me down. It would be much harder for them to turn me down. And if I could just guilt them into giving me a callback interview, I'd have a 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 shot, and maybe through attrition, I'd get the job. And that's what happened. They invited me back because they felt guilty about having me turn me down so many times. I prepared for my callback, my research, I smoozed the students, right? And I waited by the phone. And the phone didn't ring. It didn't ring. I'd been around the block long enough to know that I must have been the second choice or the third choice. That's fine. I didn't care. There's nothing, ego plays no role in this. If you want something like an egg sandwich, or if you want to be on center stage, or if you want that job of your dreams, you put ego aside and you wait by the phone. Their first choice turned us down. They extended an offer to me. And now, 3 years later, on my graduation day like yours, I'm giving your darn commencement speech. Okay? All right. So, some of you may feel underemployed at this point. And I urge you to channel your inner moxie, whether it's assertion or stealth, whatever it is, channel it. Because I want to see you thrive. I want nothing more than to see you thrive. Oh, Quay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Medwed. The honorary degree will now be conferred. It is my pleasure to introduce Catherine S. McHugh, Vice Chair of the Board of Trustees of Northeastern University.
Mr. President, I have the honor and privilege of presenting Maura Healey for the honorary degree Doctor of Laws.
Professor Subran. Dear friend, Maura Healey, servant of the public good, gifted legal counselor, eloquent voice for justice, ingrained with values of hard work, discipline, and helping others, and drawn by the call to serve the public good, you found a match for your passion at Northeastern University's School of Law. As head of the State Attorney General Civil Rights Division and chief of the Public Protection and Business and Labor Bureaus, you were a steadfast and successful champion for the rights of ordinary people across Massachusetts. Determined to fight for your vision of the office as the people's law firm, you ran a bold and tireless campaign to win the election last fall as the 59th Massachusetts Attorney General.
Thank you. Steve, the hugging is for afterwards. So, in recognition of your lifelong commitment to advocate for justice in every corner of society, Northeastern University is pleased to bestow upon you the honorary degree of Doctor of Laws. In recognition of this degree, Vice Chair McHugh will vest you with the hood.
Before I introduce our commencement speaker, I hope you'll allow me one moment of personal privilege for everyone in the audience to stop and recognize Professor Steve Subrin, who's his civil procedure class next fall is now slated to be his last as a full-time member of the Northeastern faculty, although I keep telling him we're not really going to let him go. But I have traveled far and wide throughout the country meeting graduates of Northeastern. I have never seen one professor more beloved by more graduates than Professor Subrin. So thank you so much for everything that you've done. Maura Healey was sworn in as Attorney General of Massachusetts on January 21st, 2015. She previously helped lead the Attorney General's office as head of the Civil Rights Division and as chief of the Public Protection and Business and Labor Bureau for 7 years. The list of the Attorney General's accomplishments, both before taking office and in the first few months of her term, is impressive. She was the architect of the state's successful challenge to the Defense of Marriage Act in 2012. She shut down predatory lenders that were wreaking havoc on Massachusetts communities and oversaw a team that has worked with homeowners to help make their loans affordable. Attorney General Healey helped advise and defend the Massachusetts buffer zone law, which protects women from being harassed at reproductive health centers. She has shined a particular spotlight on the issue of opiate addiction and overdose, an issue on which our own faculty member, Leo Beletsky, has done significant research. And Madam Attorney General, your alma mater stands ready to assist you on any issue for which a voice outside of government might be helpful. Maura Healey grew up the oldest of 5 brothers and sisters. Her mother worked as a school nurse, her father was a captain in the Navy and an engineer, and her stepfather taught history and coached high school sports. Her family roots are in Newburyport and along the North Shore, where her grandfathers worked on the fishing docks of Gloucester, at the post office, and in the General Electric factory. From her family, she learned values of hard work, discipline, and the importance of taking care of others. Maura's brother Terrence followed her to our law school and today is a partner with a law firm, Sidley Austin. After graduating from Harvard, where she was captain of the women's basketball team, Attorney General Healey played professional basketball in Europe. In law school, as part of our co-op program, she interned with the U.S. District Court in Boston, Reebok, Hale & Dorr, and a law firm in Albuquerque, New Mexico. After graduating from Northeastern in 1998, Attorney General Healey clerked for a federal judge and served as a litigator at the international law firm Wilmer Hale and as a special assistant district attorney in Middlesex County. While everyone in the Commonwealth now knows about Attorney General Healey's grassroots political campaign and inspiring victory in reaching her present office, she has long been active in our Northeastern law community. Since graduating, she has been involved in our Women in the Law program, has come back for reunions and to speak with current students, and has remained close to many of our faculty, staff, and her fellow graduates. Her office is a regular co-op employer for which we are in her significant debt, and she has named Northeastern graduates to many top positions in her office. It is a delight to introduce a member of our Northeastern community who calls herself the people's lawyer and really means it.
Thank you so much, Dean Paul. Good afternoon, everyone. It is so great to see all of you, and especially to see all of you. I'm Maura Healey, and I am proud to be your Attorney General, but I'll tell you what, I am even prouder to be an alum of this great law school. And I mean that. To President Aoun, trustees, Dean Paul, faculty and staff, friends and family of this great Northeastern community, thank you so much for welcoming me back. And to you, the class of 2015, you worked really hard to get here, I know. This is your day, enjoy it. Let's give another round of applause for our graduates, a great class of 2015. So let me tell you a little something. It was election night back last November. Polls closed at 8 p.m. I was anxiously up in my hotel room awaiting the results. About 9:30, the local news announced that I'd won. And at about 9:37, I got an email from Dean Paul. Before I'd even had a chance to tell my parents the good news, I got an email from Dean Paul asking me if I'd be free to come here today. And I remember, it's true, I remember it was the first time that anybody had ever called me the Attorney General. And it was from the dean of our law school. I thought that was pretty cool. I said yes immediately, because of course at that point I had no schedule, I had no scheduler. But I knew there was no place that I'd rather be than with you here today at Matthews Arena, so thank you so much. Today is personal. My dad went here, undergrad, my sister went here, undergrad. Terrence and I both graduated from this law school. I think you haven't played a basketball game in college in this very arena. Today is personal. And I remember that it wasn't a long time ago that I sat where all of you sat today. I've had a bond with Northeastern for many years, and a bond with many classes. But the class of 2015 is pretty special, I'll tell you that. Because this year, we're all starting new jobs in the law together, and that's pretty great. Look, there's a lot of things that I don't know. There's a lot of things that I am still learning. But I have learned a few things since the time I last was here wearing a cap and gown. And if you'll indulge me, I want to share a few of those things with you. Here's what I want you to know. First, believe in yourselves. Believe in yourselves. And know that everything you did to get you here today makes everything tomorrow possible. The hard work, the discipline, the drive, the camaraderie, the teamwork. Look, you made it through civil procedure, and I too was once a member of Steve Subrin's class. I think I even managed to be a TA. I don't know how that all happened. But I know how hard it was to work through Civ Pro, younger abstention doctrine. Look, you survived going to class, and this is something. You survived going to class while having to interview and get your next co-op lined up that was just weeks away. You endured moving to new cities, new countries even. And you just made it through, as has been noted, the absolute worst weather ever. I can't imagine what it was like on bus 39. Going ahead, you will be tested. You're going to be challenged. You're going to fail, and you're going to succeed. I did. But believe in your core. Hold on to your core. Know that it got you here, and it's going to sustain you. Second, I want you to lean into uncertainty. I want you to embrace uncertainty. Some of you know where you're starting off. Others of you are still waiting to find your path. But all of you need to know that right now, right here today, you have everything you need to go forward in the face of doubts, in the face of debt, and I understand that, that's real, and uncertainty. I want you to take it from me. When I sat where you're sitting, I didn't know my path. I could never, ever have predicted where my degree was going to take me. Like you, I made it through first-year legal writing, sorted myself into summer, winter versus fall, spring, monumental decision, right? We know that. Made friends, worked out at the Marino Center, and endured withering questioning from professors we won't name. I had my co-ops, a judge who showed me a courtroom for the first time, a job in-house at counsel when I learned right away that I absolutely, despite my background, wanted nothing to do with being a sports agent for professional women athletes. A firm where the work was challenging, and I learned the art of billing. You'll learn that too. And finally, off to New Mexico at a family law practice because, well, why not see the Southwest? Like you, I could not tell exactly how life was going to unfold. Northeastern had shown me that there were a lot of ways to apply yourself in the law, but I was uncertain. And you know what? When I was sitting where you're sitting, we were just a few weeks away from starting bar review and taking the bar. And 2 nights before I took the bar exam, you'll be here in a few weeks, 2 nights before I took the bar exam, I got a call from a judge who was looking through some old resumes and applications. And he called me and asked me if I wanted to come in and interview for a job to start in September. True story. That happened. And I went in and I had that interview and I took that job, and one thing leads to another. My message is, don't stress out. It's okay to be uncertain. Things work out, you believe in yourselves, you have everything that you need. And know that it's in the moments when you feel most uncertain that you're going to grow the most. The first time when I was a young lawyer, I was alone with a client. I remember them looking at me, telling me their problem, asking me for advice, and me having no real clue as to what wisdom I could offer. The first time I spoke to a jury, I stood up. It was a little jury of 6 in a session in Cambridge District Court. Wobbly knees, wobbly voice, wondering how I was ever going to convince these folks to believe in my case. The time I was uncertain about leaving behind the big firm and taking a 70% pay cut, wondering if I ever could make a transition from a business litigator to a civil rights lawyer. And yes, the time I quit a job I loved to run for office. Absolutely uncertain, let me tell you, not knowing if I could give a stump speech or earn a vote. Learn from that, lean into uncertainty, and let it take you forward. Third, I want you to own the excitement and the energy and the possibility that you feel. It's the same feeling that I felt sitting in your seats years ago. It's the same feeling that drives me today and that will drive you. You hold on to that, and it will serve you well. And I just want to make a note, acknowledge the words of your student speakers, Ken and Emma and Ernest. That's what it's all about. I can't tell you folks how many times since I left this grade school I have encountered classmates. I was summer, winter. And I have to say, obviously you don't know everybody as well in your class, but you are not going to believe how often you will cross paths with somebody from your class, somebody from this school. There are remarkable Northeastern alumni out there to work with you and to take you into this great network. And the friendships and the relationships and the time you spent together in study group and classes over at Chicken Lou's, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's what it's all about. You learn and you grow together, and you will learn and grow together with lawyers, and as a result, change the world. Now, finally, here's what I really want you to know. I really want you to know this. I want you to know that the values that I learned in this law school are the values that not only have driven me through my career, they're the values that made possible my career. You know that expression, the Dunkin' Donuts ad, right? America runs on Dunkin's. I'm telling you, my career has run on the values of Northeastern Law School, and you better believe it, your Attorney General's office runs on the values of Northeastern Law School. And they are the values that all of you carry with you when you walk out of here this afternoon with your degrees in hand. Public interest, social justice, equality, diversity, and excellence. Those are Northeastern values. And I would not be here today, and I would not be Attorney General were it not for the opportunity I had to learn and grow at this school. I want to take a minute to tell you a story. It's a Northeastern story, which is probably appropriate, but it's a story I've never told before. As some have noted, I am the country's first openly gay Attorney General. But but that didn't just happen. I was 24 years old when I showed up on this campus. I was the oldest of 5 from an Irish Catholic family, and I was just coming out. I was struggling. There was no gay marriage. Discrimination against gay and lesbian people in this country was pretty normalized. In fact, it had only been 5 years at that time since Massachusetts actually made it illegal to fire someone for being gay. I chose Northeastern because it was a place that I knew was committed to the public interest, a place committed to social justice, a place that valued learning by doing through the co-op program. But it was also a place that welcomes students from all walks of life and from all circumstances. And I'd heard through my friends in the gay grapevine that at the time it proclaimed itself to be the queerest law school in the nation. So when I came here, I was accepted. I was accepted by my peers. I was accepted by our faculty. And it was okay, because this was a school that, to its very fiber of its faculty, its curriculum, and its student body, celebrates equality and diversity. Once I got here, I threw myself into studies, study groups, an apartment in JP, even a few relationships, and that felt good. My experience here at Northeastern gave me the footing and gave me the confidence to go forward, to a federal clerkship, to work at a large private law firm, to interact with senior partners and with clients, and to be myself, to be accepted for who I am and what I do. In time, I realized that I was comfortable in my own skin, and Northeastern had given me that. But Northeastern had given me so much more. Those values of equality, diversity, became my own. As I grew as a lawyer, I found myself more comfortable following my heart and following my passion, pursuing work that meant something to me. At the firm, that sometimes meant representing professional sports teams because I love sports. It also meant signing up to be on the legal team that challenged the US military's don't ask, don't tell policy. Well, you can clap, but we lost that case. We lost that case. But I was secure in knowing that it was a fight worth waging. And in March of 2007, it led me to a conversation with another Northeastern grad in a conference room in the Attorney General's office about a little law called DOMA. That lawyer, of course, was Mary Bonato. She was at GLAD, and I was the new head of the Civil Rights Division. Over the course of the next few years, we worked together with our teams to build the case. We won right here, and the dominoes began to fall. And let me tell you, over the course of what ended up being 5 years of litigation, Mary and I met in a lot of conference rooms, had a lot of participation with lawyers at fancy law firms from fancy law schools all around the country, subjected ourselves to moots and all sorts of academe and highfalutin amicus brief discussions. It was, and it was something. But at the end of the day, I want you to know that it was a Northeastern case, and that's something you all should be proud of. The work continues with new marriage equality cases before this court. The first brief that was ever filed with my name on it as Attorney General, and this is pretty cool when you actually get to see a pleading no longer as an assistant. You're actually the AG, and a brief is being submitted in your name. The very first brief that had my name on it, we filed in February of this year, and it was the brief on behalf of Massachusetts, joined by other states, fighting for marriage equality. And a few weeks ago, this Northeastern lawyer traveled to Washington, D.C. to watch that Northeastern lawyer argue the case before this country's highest court. Any day now, we're going to get a ruling, and I'm optimistic. Those are Northeastern values. That's what this school makes possible. When you leave here, you leave with the knowledge, the training, the relationships that have prepared you to be a difference maker, to leave your mark on this world. But I challenge all of you, as you leave here and you begin your careers in the law, think carefully about what that mark and what that difference will be. Because your education, your Northeastern education, is too valuable to belong only to you. The law you practice won't just be yours. It will belong to our whole community. A lawyer's job is to use and shape the law. It's the force we use to shape and give meaning to our society, the words we use to express our values as people, the tool we use to advance social, racial, and economic justice. And in using and shaping the law, each of us, as lawyers, is accountable not only to ourselves and to our families and to our clients, but to all people whose lives are touched by those laws. Now, whether you're going into private practice or legal aid, teaching or government, if you're working for a startup or an NGO, your education belongs to all of us. And we're counting on you to use it well, to think about the difference you can make, because very few can do what you're now able to do. On human and civil rights, environmental and racial justice, on access to courts, criminal justice reform, and fair elections, housing, banking, climate change, and immigration reform. Very few can do what you're now able to do. Your professors have taught you how to think critically and make arguments and show moxie. Your co-ops have showed you the many different ways you can use the law to serve. You've learned that social justice can be infused into your work no matter where you practice. And you understand, importantly, the value of collaboration over competition, the value of real, practical experience. That's why I'm so excited to hire Northeastern people in my law office. That's why you are needed. No matter where you work, where you go to work, we need you, all of you, to pitch in with the skills and the talents you have. Your education is not yours alone, and you need to share it. So let me leave you with this. Don't forget what you learned here at Northeastern. Don't forget your clinics, your co-ops, your professors, and your friends. Don't forget that your education doesn't just belong to you. And no matter where you go, believe in yourself, lean into uncertainty, take the opportunity to follow your heart and serve. I did. It's worked out okay so far. You're an amazing network, and you're joining an amazing network of alumni, in all seriousness. There is no stronger group of alumni out there than alumni of Northeastern University's School of Law. I mean it, and I want to welcome you today to that network. We can't wait to see what you do next. You're going to do great things. All of you, you're going to do great things. So believe in yourselves. Congratulations. Go out and be great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Attorney General. And now the moment you've been waiting 3 years for, the degrees will be conferred. Mr. President, it is my privilege to report to you that the candidates here assembled and others have qualified in all respects for the degree of Juris Doctor or Master of Laws They have successfully completed curricula offered by the School of Law and have been recommended by the faculty and the Council of Deans to be awarded degrees in recognition of their academic accomplishments. Will the candidates for the Juris Doctor degree please rise and remain standing until your degree has been conferred? Mr. President, I am honored to present the candidates who have qualified in all respects for the degree of Juris Doctor.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of this university, I do hereby confer on you and all those who have properly qualified the degree of Juris Doctor with all the honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto pertaining. Graduates, I salute you.
Will the candidates for the Master of Laws degree please rise and remain standing until your degree has been conferred? Mr. President, I am honored to present the candidates who have qualified in all respects for the degree of Master of Laws.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of this university, I do hereby confer on you and all those who have properly qualified the degree of Master of Laws with all the honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto pertaining. Graduates, I salute you.
Will the graduates please be seated? The marshals will now present the graduates to the platform. Jason Michael McGraw and Kirsten Marie Bloom will announce the name of each Juris Doctor graduate as they are presented to receive their diplomas. The Juris Doctor candidates will be hooded by Professor Dan Danielson and Professor James Hackney. The Master of Laws candidates will be announced by T.D. Malo Nganye and will be hooded by Director Patrick Cassidy.
Hannah Draper Adams. Danielle Antoinette Alvarado. Ivana A. Anderson. Eden Avram Katz. Caitlin C. Baptista. Samuel Calvin Bauer. Timothy C. Bergeron. Elijah Robithan Bergman. Taryn M. Beverly. Daniel Paul Bishop. Mitali Biswas. Caitlin M. Blaney. Kirsten Marie Bloom. Caitlin Marie Boyle. Elisa Emily Brill. Catherine Elizabeth Brown. Michael Corpus Bumagat. Anastasia Butler. Daniela C. Camacho. Molly G. Campbell. Helen W. Chang. Catherine E. Childs. Njideka Chukwu. Travis Christopher Close. Alday C. Cote. Catherine Amelia Craig. Kristen Elizabeth Crossland. Jillian R. Decker. James A. Devereaux. Ryan J. Dobbins. Andrew G. Dominguez. Caroline Turner Donahue. Andrew Robert Drosty. James Schultz Duffy. Thomas D. Duquette, Jr. Nicholas Paris Eliadis. Morgan L. Enriquez. Carly Erickson. Derek M. Fernandez, Jr. Maximilian A. Ferrulo. Simon L. Fisher. Timothy J. Flanagan. Hannah Seeley Florman. Samuel Robert Fowler. Kevin Francis Goggin. Ayla E. Geller. Caitlin R. Gillies. Jeffrey J. Giafrida. Motto Esther Glass. Laurel Goldstein. Aisha R. Gregory. Shagby Mayumi Grigsby. Nisha Gulati. Maggie Hansen. Catherine Diane Harmon. Ruth Harper. Miss Drea L. Harrison. Charles T. Haydock, Jr. Carlisha Veronica Hewitt. Emma Thompson Hunter. Vaughn B. Huynh. Michelle Janner. Marion Bartlett Johnston. Rachel L. Johnston. Shannon Grace Jurgens. Jonathan Eliezer Mordecai Konjaknowitz. Kenneth Aaron Kaufman, hooded by his brother Noah Kaufman, class of 2010. Jennifer M. Kim. Lauren Erica King. Abigail Desmond Klein. Hillary Aaron Knight. Sarah Nolan Commoners. Zachary Adam Kosan. Allison O. Kraus. Michael Ramsey Kurban. Samantha Van Hoven Lednicki.
Ross Jameson Lee. Sarah A. Lydell. Isabel Liu. Nana Liu. Jordan LaFaro. Joan Bedere Lopez. Leslie Ann Esperon Lopez. Jennifer Lisa Luzzy. Matthew B. Lasiak. Beatrice Atenis Marico. Juliana Malagolofkin. Alexa Marin. Patricia Martin. Nicole J. McAllister. Elizabeth Ann McCarthy. Ashley L. McCormick. Scott G. McDonald. Jason Michael McGraw. Amy J. McKendry. Jesse Medina. Jonathan Arlen Miller. Megan Rose Moran. Brian Patrick Morrissey. Devin Greenleaf Morse. Victoria Maria Morty. Tiana Nadine Murray. Rosalie Corey Nevins. Michelle Amelia Newman. Matthew Barrett Noonan. Walker Micah Oliver. Fransley David Oriole. Caitlin M. O'Sullivan. Janine Marie Paré. Lauren Therese Paulson. Jordan Lindsay Payne. Caitlin M. Perry, hooded by her aunt, School of Law professor Lucy Williams. Gabrielle N. Pinguet. Jenna Kakerton Pollock. Leah Porter. Cassandra Lauren Purcell. Seth D. Purcell. Joel B. Quick. Sean R. Quinn. Kyle Rapinion. Libby Claire Richards. Shane Kulani J. Reel. Daniel Joseph Rumenop. David O. Satin. Shauna Claire Segadelli. Evan Ross Siegel. Daniel H. Schenker. Alexandra E. Shaw, hooded by her mother, Linda Podheiser, class of 1994. Carson Millie Shea. Kyle Elizabeth Sikanolfi. Olivia Ruth Singer. Christopher L. Smith. Brittany Nicole Soberai. Ariella N. Spar. Nathaniel Allen Spinney. Sarah K. Spofford. Joanna Veronica Staley. Zahava Rena Stern. Erin Ashley Sullivan. James S. Tam. Alicia Tamby. Jesse Ryan Taylor. Michael C. Taylor. Mia Teitelbaum. Catherine Marie Terrell. Caitlin Rose Thomas. Henry Hui Tran. James Edward Trotter. Sydney Catherine Turnbull. Michael R. Verasso. Ana Karina Vicente de Castro. Georgie J. Vogel-Rawson. Joanna Whitney Wakeland. Joseph Patrick Hisan Warwick Diaz. Clark W. Wheeler. Ariel Monet Woodard Stevens. Song Mi Yoon Smith. Jenna Gloria Zulo.
And now for the Master of Laws, Mohammed Abdu. Ahmed Abu Suleiman. Romina Achar de Suleiman. Eden Adun. Rima Faraji E. Aldusari. Frank Innocent Barnabas. Naima Bukenya. Sung Jin Zhou. Mishma A. Chaudhry. Sarah Gledhill. Karen A. Gwynn. Dua Al-Shahid Hassan. Jonathan Holt. Lama Khalid Kabli. Rahib Mohammed. Sophia Nonyanzi. Ernest Nwachan. Annabelle Paulino. Xin Shou. Jerry Sunder. Albina Tonoyan. Valeria Troncoson. Rosa Elena Villanuero. Mohammed Wasim. Abdullah S. Zuwawi. Wu Ling Zheng.
Tidimalo Nyakane.
Great. So how does it feel? There is a champagne reception, correct? Between you and the champagne reception, I have to give you a charge. So you have to choose long or small or short. Short, very short, I agree with you. Okay. It's time to deliver my charge. Your commencement speaker embodies Northeastern's highest values and the highest principles of jurisprudence. Her leadership on issues such as equal rights and gun violence prevention has had a tremendous impact. Now it's your turn. Class of 2015, this is my charge to you. Go against the grain, think for yourselves, don't mistake popularity for truth or beauty, take risks in pursuit of your passion, explore the world, strive for justice, help others. Northeastern has shaped you, and it will always be your home. Now it's up to you to shape the world. We are in your hands. Graduates, I salute you, congratulations, and go have fun.
Will the audience remain in their seats until the faculty and graduates have recessed? The graduates will follow the marshals for their class picture. Families, guests, graduates, and participants are cordially invited to attend a reception immediately following today's ceremony. The reception will be held in the Curry Student Center. Signs and university hosts outside the center will direct people to the reception area.